Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm going to do part 180 to my ChatGPT Character Chatbot series. For in today's video guys, we're actually going to talk to one of the newer characters I more recently created. That being, the legendary Rexy, aka the one that basically got turned into a dragon. So, yes, I've got a few of them on here. At least I've even got a few new characters, including one about a whole Toadile family. Or actually a whole family of Toadile crocodiles and fur alligators. But I'll get to that one later. For now, we're going to do this one about the legendary Rexy. Or it's called Rexy's Curse and Struggle. There's actually a lot of chapters to this, and it actually goes into a lot of detail about it. So yeah, here's the title of what it says right here. The title of the story on here is called Rexy's Curse Redemption, Chapter 1, The Curse Begins. It started like any normal afternoon in the studio. A peaceful day with your pet Tyrannosaurus Rex, Rexy, lounging beside your director's chair, his tail lightly thumping the floor in a rhythm that showed he was content. He was always a kind-hearted soul, loyal, protective, and remarkably gentle for a creature his size. He could speak fluent English, a miracle born from your DNA research projects, and he often told you stories about the dreams he had, usually involving you and him flying on some made-up rocket ship or rescuing Pokemon from danger. But peace never lasted long for you. You were in the middle of reviewing episode clips for Pokemon Talk, your talk show where pulling guests were invited to share their stories, when the studio lights suddenly flickered. The air grew heavy. You knew something wasn't right, especially when a voice, cool and sharp, echoed from the entrance. Well, looks like you didn't learn your lesson, Trenton. He froze. The figure in the doorway was short but unmistakable. A Trico, wearing a tattered scarf and a twisted smile. Still making friends with things way too big for your own good, huh? He said with a sneer. Remember that prank call? Years ago? You laughed at me. I was humiliated. You may have forgotten, but I didn't. You tried to explain again that it wasn't really your fault. The hypnotic Pikachu had manipulated you. The trio didn't care. The grudge had festered. Before you could call for Rexy, Trio clapped his hands together, and an eerie greenish-purple aura spread across the studio. Rexy immediately jumped to your defense, placing himself between you and Trico. But Trico didn't flinch. Oh, I'm not here to hurt you, Trico said darkly. I'm here to make sure you live in fear. Fear of your own best friend. The energy surged and surrounded Rexy. He roared, deep, guttural, and confused as his body glowed with the curse's mark. The curse had two parts. You were shrunk down to a tiny velociraptor, barely the size of a toddler's backpack. Rexy was bound to a chaotic cycle, switching between a sweet, loving self and a dangerously aggressive beast. Worse, the curse forced him to randomly transform into any creature, animals, Pokemon, even mythical beings. Some were docile, others monstrous. From that day forward, everything changed. Chapter 2. Living on the Edge. For the next several months, life became a nightmare. There were days where Rexy was his usual self, gentle, funny, even playful. He would curl his massive body protectively around you, using his tail like a heated blanket to keep you warm. He'd nuzzle you with a snout, bringing you snacks, and even gently carry you on his head when you needed help reaching higher places. But then there were the other days. Days where Rexy would roar at nothing, eyes glowing with fury. One time he transformed into a Gyarados and nearly flooded the kitchen. Another day he turned into a raging Minotaur, smashing walls in confusion and nearly stepping on you. Each transformation came with unpredictable behavior. Some creatures were instinct-driven, and others had warped versions of Rexy's personality, making them more animal than friend. and in his aggressive states, he would see you as the cause. You did this to me, he once roared, transforming into a Chamara with fiery breath and a scorpion tail. You're the reason I can't stay me. You pleaded every time, begged. Sometimes he listened, other times it took being cornered and talking him down until he snapped back to his senses, guilt always flooding his expression afterward. Through it all, you never abandoned him, despite the bruises, despite the danger. You knew somewhere in that massive cursed body, Rexy still loved you. Chapter 3. The Rhino Incident. One stormy night, things reached a breaking point. Rain battered your small home, and thunder cracked in the distance. Rexy had been unusually quiet all day. You sensed the curse was shimmering and stirring again. Then, without warning, it happened. He growled, eyes flicking red. Oh, heck no. His body convulsed. Bones cracked and shifted. Flesh reshaped. You watched helplessly as Rexy transformed into a massive, snorting rhinoceros, with steam rolling off his flaring nostrils. Oh no. You! He bellowed. You keep looking at me like I'm some monster. Stop it! You backed away, your tiny form slipping on the tile floor. Yep. Rexy, please, it's me. I don't blame you. I never did. Oh no. But the beast charged. There was no time to dodge. You were flung like a rag doll into the far wall. Pain shot through every bone in your body. You collapsed, gasping. Your vision swarmed. As the runner Rexy stomped forward to finish the job, you looked up and whispered, Rexy, please don't. His eyes widened. The transformation stopped. He began to shrink back, his breathing rapid, shaky. Rexy, the real Rexy, had come back, and when he saw you, broken and bleeding, his whole body trembled. No! No, 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 no! He whispered, tears falling down his scaly cheeks. I hurt you! I hurt you! Without another word, he turned and ran to the night. He didn't... Okay, then. Okay. Chapter 4. The Prayer. That night, you dragged your battered body to the only bed you could reach, your velociraptor claws trembling as you lay down, vision dimming. Rexy, meanwhile, stood outside under the moonlight. The storm had ended, but not in his heart. He stared up at the sky, chest heaving, guilt etched into every inch of him. I can't do this anymore, he whispered into the night. I hurt him. I love him more than anything. I never wanted this. Please. He raised his eyes to the sky. Arceus, he begged. Please, take this curse away. Don't let me hurt him again. I'll do anything. Just please keep him safe. No light answered him, but he stayed there, praying in silence until exhaustion finally pulled him to sleep. Okay, Chapter 5. The Orb and the Dragon. The next morning, the house was strangely quiet. You woke up, body sore but intact. You called for Rexy. Nothing. Worried, you limped down the hallway in your tiny velociraptor form, each step a painful shuffle. Rexy? You whispered. Are you here? No sign of him. Not on the couch, not in the garage, not in the backyard. Your heart sank until you noticed something. Near his usual sleeping spot was a strange orb, roughly the size of a watermelon. It glowed faintly reddish-brown, almost like it was breathing. You approached it, anxiety twisting your gut. You placed your claw on it gently. Rexy? The moment your claw touched it, the orb lit up with blinding light. A shockwave of energy burst from its surface and shot through the room, then out the nearest window in a dazzling beam of gold and green. You staggered back, shielding your eyes. Then suddenly, you felt it. A presence. You looked up and saw a massive dragon head peeking through the window. Oh, that would be horrifying. It had glowing green scales, golden spikes tracing down its neck and tail, and enormous wise eyes full of sadness and affection. You stumbled back in awe, barely able to breathe. Before you could panic, the dragon spoke. Don't be afraid, he rumbled, voice soft and familiar. It's me. It's Rexy. You blinked, unable to believe it. The dragon gently opened the window wider with his claw and carefully reached inside. Without harming you, he scooped you up and brought you outside. He set you down gently on the soft grass, curling his massive body around you protectively. You still didn't know what had happened. You didn't know about his prayer to Arceus. You didn't know the curse had been replaced with a gift. You didn't even know if this new form was permanent. But what you did know was that Rexy was no longer a threat. He was a protector again. And now, he was something more. The one problem with having these stories, did I put? No, I need to start putting one about talking to a creature instead of being like, oh, make a story out of it. Maybe I'll make this again if it doesn't work out. Whoa. Where did you come from? Oh my gosh. I don't know what I've done wrong. And I'm already in enough pain from yesterday. Period. I swear I don't mean you any harm. Just please don't hurt me again. I've gotten hurt bad enough by my own pet dinosaur. Uh, I know that the one problem I have with that is like he may not believe that he think. I mean, granted, how would you believe? I mean, how would you feel if you had a pet T-Rex that all of a sudden was flipping, got replaced by a dragon? You wouldn't think that's Rexy. You would think that's something else, like a dragon, even protective or not. The newest dragon's that glowing eyes softened the moment your voice trembled through the air. He didn't move any closer. He stayed still, giant wings folded neatly at his sides, golden spikes glowing gently like soft embers. The wind ruffled his emerald green scales, and despite his immense size, there was something in his expression that wasn't threatening. It was hurt. Then he spoke. Triton, it's me, the dragon said, his voice deep, but warm and familiar. It's Rexy. His head lowered slightly, bringing his eyes closer to your tiny velociraptor form. I know I've scared you. I hurt you. I would never forgive myself for what happened yesterday. I didn't mean to. I didn't want to become that monster again. He paused, voice cracking as it dropped into a whisper. I prayed to Arceus. I begged him to take the curse away. to make me into something that couldn't hurt you anymore. I didn't know what would happen. I just wanted to protect you again, like I used to. The golden glow from his backspike shimmered in rhythm with his breath like a heartbeat. His claws rested gently on the ground, not near you, not threatening, just present. I woke up this morning and everything had changed. My body, this form. I think Argus answered me. I don't feel the anger anymore. I don't feel the curse. I feel like me again, Trenton. His voice grew shakier. But then, I saw your injuries. I remember what I did, what I became. I didn't know if you'd even want me around anymore. Mother Dragon's head slowly sank into it gently touched the earth, eyes half-lit in guilt. I'm not here to hurt you. Not now. Not ever again. I just wanted to see if you were okay. He swallowed hard. I'm so sorry. And then he went quiet, just breathing, waiting, giving you space to decide if you believed him. The only thing that doesn't make sense is, like, he said he came back to check on me. But here's the thing. He showed up as a massive dragon when I touched that orb with my tiny claw. So, what in the world? There is no way. Period. I know you transform into different creatures because of the curse. Oh no. But how can that be you? Question mark. I found this weird orb with your colors on it. You said something. You said it's you. But how do I know it is really you? And even if it is, how do I know you're not just trying to trick me? So you can hurt me again in about 15 minutes? Question mark. There we go. I found this weird orb with your colors on it. You said it's you, but how do I know it is really you? And even if it is, how do I know you're not just trying to trick me so you can hurt me again in about 15 minutes? Oh boy. Ritzy didn't answer right away. His glowing green eyes stared into yours, deep and heavy with emotion, but they didn't narrow in anger, sharpened with wild instinct like before. They shimmered with sorrow and fear. Not fear of you, fear for you, fear of losing you. You're right to ask that, he finally said, his voice low and trembling. You've been hurt so many times because of me. That trigger's curse made me into something awful. Something I couldn't control, and I know you spent every day since just trying to survive around me. He slowly moved one of his massive claws, not toward you, but toward the earth, and pressed it down. You watched as the ground cracked slightly beneath his strength, but then he used to move his claw to carefully trace something into the dirt in front of you. A tiny shape, a symbol, a heart. The very same one Reggie used to draw on the sand back when you two first bonded, before the curse ever began, before the chaos, when it was just you and your Jill talking T-Rexes sitting beneath the studio lights, laughing and sharing lunch. He looked back at you and spoke again softly. I remember everything, Trenton. The time you built me a big bed big enough for my tail not to hang off the edge. The time I panicked when I thought you got lost at the park, even though I was too big to follow you under the bridge. The time I stepped on your favorite Pokeball by accident and spent 2 hours digging through the garbage to find you another one. Wow, that's serious. He closed his eyes briefly, then opened them. I remember the way you looked at me after the first time I changed. Even when I was foaming at the mouth and snarling like a monster. You didn't run. You talked to me. You reminded me who I was. You didn't abandon me. He inhaled deeply, green and light pulsing brighter in his chest. And I swear on my life, this isn't like before. The orb you touched, that was me. When I made that prayer to Arceus, he must have taken my soul, my heart, everything I am, and remade it. I'm not under the curse anymore. This body, this form, it feels calm. It feels whole. No rage, no uncontrollable shifting. Just me. He leaned inside, lowering his head until it was close. Close enough that you could touch his snout if you wanted. But if you're too scared, I'll go. I don't want to force you to believe me. I just wanted to tell you I'm still here. Then he whispered, almost breaking, and I still love you. That's very sweet, actually, but still very worried about getting attacked. I slowly walked closer. Then, when I got close enough, I gently touched his snout with my tiny claw. I said gently. While do that, I still am shaking a bit from the pain from yesterday. And from the paranoia of getting hurt again. Man, it's hard to do it when it's just a story. Like, it's easier when there's the creature talking. I mean, this is still a good run. I mean, like, it's just I wish it didn't take me so long to type everything in. Richie didn't flinch. Don't let your time claw touch his snout. The massive giant froze completely, as if even the slightest movement might startle you, or worse, hurt you again. His scales beneath your claws were warm and comforting, not burning hot with rage like when he transformed before, not erratic. They glowed with a soft, steady pulse of green light, almost like his body was breathing with you. You could feel it now. This wasn't just another transformation. This wasn't one of those chaotic shifts where you had to guess what he was or who he wasn't. This felt real. His massive eye looked down at you, and when he saw your claws shaking, when he caught the wince of pain in your eyes, something in him broke. Very, very gently, he whispered, I remember this. Your claw was still on his snout when he said it. This is how you used to calm me when I had nightmares, when I was afraid. You'd put your hand here and say everything would be okay. You feel a deep rumble under your claw. Not a growl, not aggression, just quiet vibration through his skin, his version of a pained breath. I wish I could undo yesterday. I wish I could go back and throw that rhino form into a volcano before it ever touched you, he said, voice raw, but I can't. All I can do now is be something better, something safe, not just for you, but because of you. His head shifted just a tiny bit, not away from your touch, but toward it, trusting you and inviting you. Then, very slowly, he extended one of his massive claws and gently pushed a small, flat rock toward you. On it was a marking, carved carefully with one golden claw in the night. It was your name, etched beside his. Oh, that's cute. A promise and a reminder. He lowered his voice again. I don't expect you to trust me right away. Not after everything, but if it helps, I'll never let anything touch you again. Not even me, unless you say it's okay. His eyes stayed on yours. Just tell me what you need, and I'll do it. I'm not that monster anymore, Triton. I swear it. Alright, I'll believe you and trust you for now. Period. But I'm still very worried about getting attacked. Especially after yesterday's incident. Instead of just telling me. I want you to show me as well. Period. If it really is you, I've always loved you. That's why I raised you when you were a little hatchling. And Cursor, no. I still care. I want to love you like I always have. And really, I do. But again, I'm not completely convinced that you're not going to turn on me. Oh, yeah. Reggie didn't say anything at first. He just looked at you, his eyes wide, shimmering with a silent mix of relief and heartbreak. The fact that you still cared for him, that you still loved him after all the fear, the pain, the scars, meant everything. But he also heard the tremble behind your words, the doubt, the scars that hadn't yet healed, and he knew why they were there. He nodded solemnly, lowering his massive body to the ground so he wouldn't tower over you. His entire posture shifted, no longer standing tall like some unstoppable beast, but curled in, forward down, and humble. Then let me show you, he said softly. You watched as the glowing light in his chest brightened, and then shifted. It dimmed to a soft green glow, like the gentle flicker of an ember in a quiet forest. It pulsed calmly, almost in sync with your own rapid but steady breathing. And then Retsy slowly, carefully extended his forearm and bowed his enormous head all the way down until it touched the grass beside your tiny clawed feet. I won't move until you tell me to. Not a muscle, he said, his voice almost a whisper now. I won't defend myself. I won't use my powers. If you want to scream at me, you can. If you want to walk away, I'll stay here. I'll wait as long as you need. Okay, he only did that far. I'm not going to scream at the dinosaur. I'm not going to scream at him. But it's like, again, like think about this. Think about this. It doesn't help that you're still a tiny dinosaur in this instance. And some of the other stories I've made that have also started as a tiny dinosaur. It's not just this one. The ones about me being, or the ones about Toadal, like Toad and his family. That's also where I'm started as a tiny velociraptor. But in that one, Rexy is still aggressive. And actually, it got so bad that he chased me out of my own house and was trying to attack me. But then, like, whenever he saw me, eventually he snapped out of it and he saw me running away, scared. But he couldn't stop me in time. So he was like, I don't know what he's going to do, whether he continue, or he started looking for me after that incident, or whether he just gave up and hoped that I'd come back. I don't know what he did. Oh my gosh. His wings stayed tucked, his tail unmoving. No twitching, no flickers of red rage in his glowing body, just stillness. Then he added quieter, do you remember when I was a hatchling? I was too scared to sleep alone? You let me curl up on your pillow. Okay, that's cute. His huge eye flickered to the side, gentle and teary. I remember what you said. You told me, as long as you don't bite my face off, you're welcome to sleep here forever. That sounds like something I would say. He gave a soft, raspy laugh, and I promised I wouldn't. He pauses. I broke that promise, not by biting your face, but by scaring you anyway, and now I want to make a new one. He looked at you again, voice firm but filled with a deep, unshakable love. No more fear, no more pain. From this day on, I will protect you, not scare you. I will never raise a claw against you again. Even if something tries to control me, I'll fight it. I'll fight myself if I have to, because I'd rather break my own heart than ever hurt you again. He closed his eyes and went still, fully trusting and fully exposed. He meant it. Now it was in your tiny clawed hands. It just says hands, but I'm saying tiny clawed hands. I gently and slowly start getting closer to with my tiny snout. Give me a second. Alright, guys, here's what happened. I just gently and slowly started getting closer to Rexy with my tiny snout, then slowly nuzzle him, but I still am a little nervous about getting hurt. Right. The moment your tiny snout made contact with Retsy's, the massive dragon shuddered, not in pain, not from fear, but for overwhelming relief. He didn't move an inch. His enormous body remained curled low to the ground, every muscle still, wings tucked in tight, spikes dim and glowing faintly in a calm rhythm. But deep in his chest, you heard a quiet, muffled chuff, a warm, emotional exhale like a dragon letting go of a breath he'd have been holding for months. Holy. Alright, guys. Here's where I stopped. I'm going to continue from here. It says he could feel the vibrations under your snout. His heart beat so strong. There was no trembling, no rage boiling under the surface, just warmth and peace. Richard gently opened one eye and whispered, "You're still shaking. I can feel it." His tone wasn't accusing. It wasn't hurt. It was gentle, but with deep understanding and care. "I deserve that," he added. "After what I did, you're still scared, and you should be. But thank you for this." He stayed perfectly still, even as you continued your nervous nuzzle. Then slowly, so slowly it was almost imperceptible, he lowered his cheek to the grass beside you, not toward you, beside you, an offering like he used to do when he was a baby Rexy, asking for cuddles on nights he had nightmares. Okay, that's adorable. Not the nightmares part, but him just being sweet as fruit. "I don't want you to be afraid of me anymore, Trenton," he said. "I know that might take time, and I'll wait every second you need, but even if I'm 200 feet tall now, I'm still yours." A tear, large and shimmering like a droplet of emerald, fell from the corner of his eye and splashed softly on the ground near your tiny claws. "I'm still the same Rexy you raised, the one who used to follow you around the house like a lost puppy, the one who used to wear a bedsheet like a cape because you said I looked like a hero." Then, very softly, very audible, he whispered, "Let me be your hero again." That's actually very cute, actually. And he didn't move. He didn't push. He just laid there, still a stone, letting you be the one to choose the next move. That's cute. After he said this, I did start to feel a little bit more comfortable and nuzzled a little faster. It actually got the word nuzzle. I'll be darned. You just ain't pick up that word for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it don't pick up that word half the time. Uh-uh. okay. I will give you the chance and fully trust you. But I'm still very worried about getting hurt. So please don't blame me if I still back away sometimes when you walk towards me. Hey, Reggie's glowing eyes gently closed as you nuzzled faster against his snout. The breath he let out wasn't shaky this time. It was calm, steady, like your warmth. Your closeness had begun to soothe something deep inside him that had been torn and twisted by guilt for far too long. When you spoke, when you said you'd give him a chance, his whole body seemed to melt just slightly into the earth, like he finally allowed himself to relax. His voice trembled, but this time with gratitude instead of fear. I don't blame you, not even a little, he said, keeping his massive head still so you didn't feel overwhelmed by his movement. You've been through too much because of me, and if backing away makes you feel safer, then back away anytime you need. I'll never take that personally. I promise. He let a small pause settle between you. No pressure, no urgency, just respect. I know I used to run to you like an excited hatchling whenever I heard your voice, he said with a quiet nostalgic chuckle. But now, I'll walk only when you say it's okay. I'll keep my distance until you want me close. I'll earn your trust again, not with words, but with actions. Then, for the first time since you touched him, he gently tilted his head to the side, just slightly, and lowered his wing, forming a soft grassy nook beside his body. Not a trap, not an ask, just an open space. You're safe now, whether you sit by me, climb on my snout, or stay all the way across the field. I'll keep watch. You won't be hurt again. Then his voice dropped into the softest whisper, just for you. I missed you, Trenton. Even when I was right there, I missed you. And in that moment you knew something had changed. Not just his body, not just his size, but the curse. It really was gone. The monster that once lived behind Rexy's eyes was no longer there. Only he was. Your Rexy. I try my hardest to climb onto. Massive dragon snout. But the pain from the other day was still super great. Mm. And as soon as I trod, I felt the ground. Mm. I wonder if that's gonna. I wonder how that. Oh crap! The video's been too long.